welcome back to Phillip Island. I'm Nick Harris, sitting alongside me, Gavin Emmett. Down in pit lane, Dylan Gray. Round 16, the MotoGP World Championship.
Front row then, Jorge Lorenzo, Marc Marquez and Valentino Rossi, with Alvaro Bautista, Dani Pedrosa, winner last time out from
Chip.
Front row then, Jorge Lorenzo, Marc Marquez and Valentino Rossi, with Alvaro Bautista, Dani Pedrosa, winner last time out from 5th on the grid, and Cal Crutchlow in 6th.
Third row of the grid, Bradley Smith, Nicky Hayden and Andrea Dovizioso on those factory Ducatis. Then Andrea Iannone, Colin Edwards top CRT and Ranchi.
Struggling in qualifying again this weekend, but watch out, like that works round here. We know it sat on pole last year. Stefan Bra.
6 more laps to go and then he'll be coming in.
Same for Marquez as well, 6 laps to his pit stop.
They're all going to come in together, aren't they? It's going to be tight.
I just think that would be the end of the 10th lap by the looks of things. There's Casey Stoner watching on with Chris Hillard from Alpine Stars. Stoner, I expect he'd love to be out there in a way, and he just had so much dominance at this circuit over the recent years that I don't think he'd like the idea of having to change bikes, because that's just an unknown that you cannot control.
Marquez certainly closes up on Jorge Lorenzo as they come into the hairpin. 14 and a laps to go. It may be down to Dani Pedrosa, this World Championship winning ride, if it's going to happen here. We ride with Lorenzo. That's Marquez right behind him. It's getting tighter and tighter, and the pit stops to come.
We're on board with Jorge Lorenzo. He's actually run that wider line into Siberia on every lap so far, taking a wider line, carry as much corner speed as he can through the corner, so you get the tighter entry from the Honda, much more stable on the front end. One thing the Yamahas have struggled with, and the wind hasn't helped that, and it picks up the front just that little bit of a touch as it gets under the fairing. That's why you see those holes drilled into the front of Jorge Lorenzo's bike, and the contact between the front tyre and the track is why they've gone with that softer front tyre. He's been told now the Marquez is closing, and closing fast.
And 5 laps to go before he has to come in. Onto the Gardner straight they come. 900 metres straight down towards the Doohan corner.
Pedrosa being told 6 more laps to go till he comes in. So it could well be that he comes in the lap after, and it just depends. Is it going to be clearer when Pedrosa comes in to Marquez and Lorenzo, who seem to be on the same strategy?
Also, you're going to benefit from 1 more lap on an almost empty fuel load as well, so it'll be interesting to see if he can pull out a bit of a pace there.
That's the other thing, isn't it? Obviously, the fuel is going to be lower on that the other bike. They will have calculated, so they're both on a similar kind of thing. But yeah, you're right. When they get to this end part of this first part of the race, he'll have that little bit of a lighter bike.
This World Championship is really on a knife edge now, because Marquez, no doubt, is lining up Jorge Lorenzo. Will he try to get past him before the pit stops? Should he do that? We're in unknown territory here.
Yes, definitely. Always has to try and get through, you'd have thought, because any advantage going into pit lane first surely is an advantage. You don't have anyone to worry about in front of you braking going into the pit lane. When you're coming out, you're hopefully still in front.
Through MG corner they come, up over the rise. This is a session of left-handers that bring them back to the start and finish. Mandatory bike swap. We're looking forward to that, I can assure you.
Yeah, at the end of lap 10, they have to have been into the pit. They've completed 5 laps of the race now. This will be the end of lap 6. Pedrosa is closing. Pedrosa is a couple of tenths quicker on that last lap. He didn't, again, as I thought, Lorenzo's pace has dropped down to the low 129s. He couldn't keep that mid 128 pace going. It's Valentino Rossi who's struggling a little bit. He's at the back of the group with Bautista and Crutchlow.
Well, we've seen this trio battle it out a few times pretty fiercely as well, as they fight it out for 4th place. But at the front, it is a very interesting situation. You don't have to keep needing to remind you, but if Marquez could win and Pedrosa could get in front of Lorenzo, and he is closing up Dani Pedrosa, he would be the 2013 MotoGP World Champion.
Just bunches up a bit more at the Honda hairpin. You see that wider line from Lorenzo through Siberia every single time, trying to keep the pace going through the corners. Again, that won't help the tyres necessarily too much. What the Honda likes to do, what they like to do, is get the bike stood up, get it on the fatter part of the tyre, and perhaps that's why they can just seem to be able to conserve the tyres a bit longer and find the grip when the Yamaha riders don't have it. Crutchlow has got through now on Alvaro Bautista and into 4th place, puts him in prime spot really to pick up any pieces of anything that goes on in front here, as Dani Pedrosa actually closes in on Marquez rather than the other way round.
These pit stops are going to be absolutely crucial. Into the Gardner straight. Jorge Lorenzo still leads the way. 3 laps before the pit stop. 0.3, they say, he leads Marc Marquez as he races across the line around 215 miles an hour down into the 4th gear Doohan corner.
So it'll be 2 laps next time for